Hi guys, welcome to this spot of the week. Today we have a hand with a pretty interesting decision on every street, I think. We call it 3-bet cutoff versus button pre-flop. Flop a gut shot and a backdoor flush draw. Facing a half-pot c-bet, I thought that this would be a high-frequency check raise. And my opponent continues. And turn, we add a flush draw, so now we have 1.5x pot behind, which felt a little bit awkward. I think we were less deep. We either bet call or just ship. Now I checked and faced a half pot c-bet, and I elected to call. And the river, I got in the flush, and I decided to lead shove here. So please let me know what you guys think. Do you think that this would be solver approved, or would you have played this hand in a different way? So we had this hand where I check raise flop, and turn is the 10 of clubs. I think this is where kind of our most interesting decision is, what our play should be. And if my check call makes sense, or if I should have just gotten it in right there with the equity that I have. So yeah, I'm kind of curious to see if we can find out a trend in this simulation. So it's check, and my opponent for half pot is going to be betting reasonably high frequency with a, variety of different hands. There's definitely checking quite a few top pairs as well. And yeah, just has like a mix of pretty good hands to just bet here, I guess. Nothing that really stands out here. And we see that indeed all the 8-9 suited are pretty high frequency check raises. There's actually... It's not preferred that much to have a backdoor flush draw with it. Actually, it seems like to slightly prefer not having the backdoor flush draw. So let's see why that is. So it probably has to do with I was expecting like maybe some more c-betting with hands like Queen 9 of clubs that you might block, but that doesn't really seem to be the case either. So yeah, I'm not quite sure why that is. However, like the difference is very, very small. So either way, our check raise definitely the high frequency play here. And my opponent is doing a little bit of re-raising, especially like a hand like 5-6 suited really likes that, as well as like aces with no heart basically wants to re-raise. And those two exact hands make a lot of sense, right? But he goes ahead, calls, so turn 10 of clubs. So let's see. So indeed, kind of happy to see that we are mostly checking. A little bit of block betting going on, but I assume that that would also be pretty awkward because then you face a shove and you have to fold. So I guess that's kind of disastrous. You don't want to bet fold that much equity. So yeah, it makes sense to just check these type of accommodation draws. 7-8 suited with hearts is shoving sometimes, but it's also doing like a decent amount of checking, as well as like 7-8 of clubs kind of plays somewhat similar to the 8-9 of clubs. However, 7-8 of clubs, that's a hand that can bet call, right? That's why we see quite a bit of half pots, and then that hand will definitely pay it off. So I guess that's kind of the difference between having the up and down or just the gut shot at this stack depth. We check, and we see that our opponent's bet sizing, which he picked in game, half pot, seems to be the preferred option. So I guess well done by him. I think it's a bet size that puts a lot of hands in sort of an awkward spot, so it makes sense. And we see that we are supposed to pretty much pure call the clubs and raising it a little bit more with hearts. Also not something that intuitively makes a ton of sense here. Like what sort of hands might bet fold that makes hearts better? So let's say we shove, like he has to like fold some flush draws with hearts, like a7 of hearts a bit. But that's really about it, right? So yeah, not entirely sure why having hearts is slightly better. However, 8-9 suited with clubs, pretty much pure calling. So let's check out our club river 4. So we definitely see quite a bit of lead jamming, just flushes getting in, I assume at this note is pretty good for us. And we can kind of see that the 8-9 of clubs is definitely doing a lot of lead shoving, so 80%. So, in terms of my actual hands, it looks to be played like definitely at the highest frequency sort of line, the check raise, check call, lead, which is not a line you get into a lot, but in game it kind of made sense to me. So I'm happy that the solver agrees with me. I'm also curious, like, let's say the river's a 4 of hearts. Are we also shoving? Yeah. So a heart river is like even better than just the club river. We just have hands like Jack 10, Jack 9 of hearts, Queen 10, like all the 10x of hearts, Queen Jack of hearts, Ace 10 of hearts. Yeah, just a lot of hands that we get to this line with. So the heart river, we should have certainly turned our hand into a bluff as well, which I guess I would have found that play with the 8-9 of clubs as well. So yeah, I would have definitely lead shoved with that hand. Kind of interesting that we still have like a bit of sets playing check call turn. That's not something that I would have done on this board texture with a set. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I guess like the main thing about these situations is that, we have very good equity on the turn that you are not able to bet call it off with because it's not that much equity. So yeah, check calling and then finding some leads and also finding some bluff leads, like for example in the heart river. That's kind of the line we want to get into with these hands. And if you do have like the up and down with the flush draw, then obviously, you kind of have green light to just get it in on the turn. But with this sort of hand, the check call makes more sense. So I'm happy to see these results. And please let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you at the next spot of the week.